So this is the Art of Dance. It's the live webinar with me. So for the purpose of the video recording, I'm just gonna present myself. My name is Peja Jovicic and I'm a professional dancer with the Thüringen Staatsballet in Germany. And I've been dancing for actually many years now. And I was studying in Germany and been doing ballet and various different kinds of dance. And my idea is to share my best thoughts with you on the subject of dance and how to dance better for yourself, how to develop the practice of dance. So that's why I call my program and the book that I created Art of Dance. And when we speak about Art of Dance is the manual into the dancer's brain. So I have gathered some interesting material that I have been actually living, also practicing for many years. And I have created modalities that influence our practice. So and created a manual out of that, which enables us to grow. So this is just a little bit about me. You can also find a little bit of free material from the course. I will on this link that it's on the presentation. And you also have a little bit of my email and also my webpage, so you can check more about what I do, because I tend to merge different practices. As I practice yoga, I'm also doing coaching, and I'm merging dance all together to create, but basically to create a program that enables dancers to grow and develop. So that's my idea of what we should do in dance. Okay, so today's subject is to establish the purpose of Art of Dance. What will be the purpose of Art of Dance? Then to create some goals in dance, what is important of doing in dance, and maintaining the practice, how we can maintain practice. So the purpose of the course of Art of Dance is actually to create a program for all the dancers that are able to develop wherever they are, in whatever style of dance they are doing. It could be flamenco, it could be folklore, it could be ballet. I try to gather the best programs that I find, that I research, that I try, that I practice for many years, and to do them so that, and then also share with others so that it actually makes sense. Because I think all dance is an art, and it should have a methodology of developing. So this is actually this step-by-step manual into the dancer's inner world, and it's artistic and the dancer view and the perspective, because in many schools we don't get to teach, learn about the view and the perspective of a dancer, or an artistic perspective. So learning how to think like an artist and creating a mindset that enables you to grow is probably one of the key things that actually do matter. So we have some theory to cover. We have a design. I have a design of the training, as I have some requirements. They're a must for basically every dancer, speaking of discipline, for example, and also putting creativity into the experience, which basically means that experience that you already have about your dance can be extremely creative, and you can also find different levels of that creativity inside of your dance practice. So setting principles and attitude for dance and making your practice work, it's probably one of the key things in developing any practice, but also dance practice. So Art of Dance as a program enables exactly this. Provides you with principles and attitude in how to build your mindset in developing, and also using the methodology for getting better in your style of dance, whatever the style is. What you can do is basically choose in any style, take flamenco, folklore, contemporary dance, use the methodology and then apply and adjust to fit your needs. And so that when you go on stage, you're fully ready. You know exactly how to do, you know exactly how to go with others, because you're also in the team probably, if you're not a solo dancer. And also you will also know, if you're a solo dancer, how to be on stage fully, to feel absolutely free, knowing your repertoire very, very well. So the attention of the training is basically to dance stronger. So how to build your practice. So I have I have basically, as I said before, we had a short discussion before. I have tried to gather all of the materials that I've tried also in my practice in school, but also outside of school. I was trying to get things done by asking different teachers and also applying different knowledges. And I think diversity of all of this teaching is very, very important. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the age. It doesn't matter the talent. What's really important is to put the attention on the activity of practice and the consistency of training. As some of you might know, there's a big number of trainers and dance teachers that are very useful, and they share and teach beautiful things. And I think it's really important to learn as much as possible. It is actually important to try as more trainings as you can get, as this enables you this to develop your language, dance language. So more you get to try out different things, it will enable you to know more, to speak this language much more easier. I have tried to do exactly this, to build a language and build a kind of a vocabulary that allows me to speak my language. So what is specifically different about this training is that it allows us to have a different perspective on the dance's inner world. And that's the difference between usual trainings on dance, which are basically teaching and learning steps, how to do steps. I think that's great. Learning choreographies is great. And I think it's only one part of the dancing possibility. I think as dancers we have much more to do, and this is what concerns diversity. So all learning should be about diversity, trying different things. So because when you get to look at the things from a different angle, from a different perspective, and see new things also in your dance, but you try also another types of dance, then suddenly things get to kind of get another dimension. So basically opening different possibilities. Sorry, maybe I didn't say that correctly. Not opening different possibilities, but trying out different things allows you to have different perspectives on dance. So the question, what does it take to be a good dancer and an artist? And I think that's a good question for all of you that you can set. What would be the most important thing to be a good dancer and an artist? How do you get to be one? So that's a question that I need your answer from you now. So, Isidora, what do you think? Well, yeah, you can write me, or you can think about what would be the really important thing to build a dancer. How would you build it? Okay. Okay, that's actually very correct. That's actually very correct. How was that? There was the name of the book, Eat, Pray, and Love, or was it something like that? Yes, yeah, I think that is also a book. Yeah. Yeah, actually, there is a whole chapter in. I covered one chapter in the book about dedication, right? Well, the dedication, but basically becoming very skillful at what you do. Because you can build skills as a dancer, you can build skills, and then you kind of get on one level of skills, and then you realize that more you go, there is more to know. And then more you get to know, you realize that you open another door, and then you open another door, right? Exactly. But this is the most beautiful thing about art, because it enables you to open the door. Once you recognize that, then you realize that this artistic world is a most pleasurable place that exists, because it's all inside of you. If you think about it, once you create art all the time. Okay, so love and passion. This is absolutely correct. I think you have to. I think you have to love what you do. As you said before, you have to. The younger generations have to love what they do, and dance, specifically dance, is exactly about this. If you don't love dance, then I don't know, go work in a bank or something else. But you have to. You have to have definitely. You have to have passion, and you also have to build your passion around your dance, so that you really dance your culture. Okay, for example, you do your dancing is very cultural. It's a tradition. Folklore is a very strong tradition. So when you do your practice, you really want to have full passion inside of it. You have to love what you do, and also sharing with your students that love is probably one of the key things. Exactly, exactly, exactly. So, exactly. That's that's right. That's right. So, so once you have love and passion and you live it, I mean, you have to be the one that lives that, because you become the role model as a teacher to others. But also, when you're an artist, you also have to love what you do and also have a specific dedication of developing your arts. So you have to build it. So the purpose of this question, what does it take to be a good dancer, is exactly this. You have to find out what it takes. I'm putting things in a perspective in such a way that it makes logical, that it's logical to follow the steps. But building the practice itself is the artist that has to do. It's his own path, right? So when you for example teach other students, they have to know that it's their job, not yours. You're sharing your steps, for example. You're sharing your knowledge about dance, but they have to put a good how would you say, a good block of knowledge and pushing for the things in order to get what they want to get. So determining the goals for themselves, right? Makes sense? Okay. So that's why. How do I go from there? Okay. So that's why I talk about quadrants of dance. I tend to put it differently in the book. Actually, there is a picture of quadrants because I present it as a quadrant. But quadrants of dance is basically a profile, a different profiles that enables us to shift our mindset in a different way. So, and allows you to set your path clear for what you want to do in dance, defining specifically what you want and where you want to go. So determining where you were, where you are at the moment, and where you want to go with it. Okay, so then as we start with the quadrants of dance, so the first one is the amateur beginner. This is probably one of the people that you have a lot to do with. So having first experience in dance, it's when they come to your studio and you work with them, and this is their first experience in dance. Learning the specific style of dance. In your case, that's folklore, right? Finding out what's important in this style. So you as a teacher and they as a dancer who's coming for the first time, it's good for them to find out what's important about this style. What does this style actually offers to me as an artist? And I have to also learn how to measure my personal criteria inside of that, to measure why do I actually like that. So for example, if you watch flamenco, if you go and watch flamenco on stage, it's great. It's an amazing performance, right? But you know why it's great. You know there is some really great passion, really strong musical precision. Something really, really special is going on the stage. and you recognize that. So recognizing what is the criteria of that specific style that you're practicing. So whether your group has it or not, it is very useful to have it. You as a teacher, for example, you can share what's important about your style. Then discovering the passion for dance and ability that one has. This is what you just already mentioned. So love, passion, and dedication. This is exactly this. Discovering the passion for dance. Being an artist is exactly this. Going for the thing. Reaching the envelope, basically. What are my limits? And then bringing other people's also to limits of development, of course. Joining the artistic circle of friends that brings the idea of dance closer to the person, which basically means you surround yourself with those people that are inside of dance, like you already mentioned, and brings them to idea that when you're inside of this circle, you're much closer to the people, and then you get to understand not just dance, but you also get to understand people inside of dance much better. Cool. So, what's usually common about amateur beginners is that they have no specific plan. So teachers usually would be useful to give them a specific plan how to develop their dance development, how to develop themselves. Because most of them, when they start, they don't know what to do, and they don't know where to go from there. So determining what is the beginner's level, what is the next level, and how far you can take them on the ride is the question that probably you need to ask as a teacher. And then trying out movement as an expression of life. All practice as an amateur, on the amateur level, as you said before, I have some couple of kids are coming and they're just kind of jumping around. So basically they're enjoying dance. And this is exactly this. They're just trying to try out movement as an expression of life, because all dance is an expression of life, if you think about it. It's all cultural, mythological expressions of different things. So, say. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Of course. That's why they are amateurs. You know, it takes time until you get to love and create passion and dedication. It doesn't happen in a second. Some will come and have absolutely no interest. Absolutely no interest. They're probably there because their mom sends them to them, and because they're in a community of friends, whatever the reason is. So they are all there because of different reasons. This is good then. Then this is good. It happened to be that they all recognize why they're there, but they're kind of getting it fully. They're kind of, okay, I'm just doing this for a while, I know it doesn't mean I'm gonna do it forever, so kind of, I don't know. So they just want to try out, and they don't know whether they're gonna keep doing this over and over again for years, or maybe they do it for maybe 2 months and they just drop out. Right? You are the one who actually shares that passion for them. That's why they start to love. They will start to love because of you, because you're the one who shares the most interesting things about dance. So then we come to an experienced amateur. That's already kind of, I'm doing it for a while now, and I already have a habit of dancing and visiting my dance community. It could be, let's say, 2 or 3 times a week. So I'm already kind of there for a while. I identify myself with the dancing world. That means when for example, I could study, let's say, biology or physics, but also as another thing that I do in my life, I can also dance. So usually when they ask me, so what do you do? Well, I'm a biologist and I'm also a dancer. So this is already a level where you actually realize that you're a dancer. that you're a fully dancer, and you're trying to kind of look things in your mind from a very different perspective than other people do, because having an artistic perspective is a very unique position. When it's very good to recognize that it doesn't usually go along with other fields, because artists are trying to have a different perspective of the world itself. So having friends and colleagues from the community is a key thing. This is what brings them forward. So you probably know already a lot about it. You have to create a network of people that actually like what they do. They like what they dance. That's why they're here. And this will also enables them to prolong their dancing or their dancing career as long as it goes. Knowing the program and the content of the dance group. At this point, when you're an experienced amateur, you already know the program. Many of those people that know the program, they become dance teachers. Because they already have passion and love for their community, and they have the passion for love for the dance style that they're doing. Now they want to share it out there. So this is where you actually get to learn your program really, really well. Whatever the program is. It could be 10 choreographies, it could be 20 choreographies, it doesn't actually matter. Understanding how dancing happens and following the rules. At this point, it's very clear inside of a group. It's very clear what are the rules inside of here, and how we get to go about it. No? Once you're in a group, all groups tend to be a little bit different, and this really differs from a dance style. I've been visiting some groups, and they all have different approach. Some things are allowed, some things are not allowed, but determining what are the rules inside of that specific dance style is a very important thing. Building a stage experience for an experienced amateur is where they are in their own kind of really good way of development, because they had a couple of performances before, and now they're starting to grow and grow and grow and grow, and suddenly now they're doing. You said they had a performance last night, right? At this point, after a couple of months, maybe a year or two, they've been on stage, so they starting to recognize what the stage actually is and how to be on stage, how to be a presenter on stage. You become a reliable member of the group as an experienced amateur. All of the connections inside of the group become very, very obvious to everyone. And you can always communicate very, very easily, because you are apparently an important member now. They can count on you. That means those people come always to you. Twice, 3 times a week, they take their time outside of their business of whatever or the studies in order to come and be with you. And assisting others in the group. An experienced amateur should be and could be already able to assist others in the group, in case when they get to notice that things need to be changed, someone needs help, someone doesn't know something. So basically, experienced amateur is already able to recognize what needs to be done. And then we come to an experienced artist. This is already having years of experience in dance. I think this goes already in your era. This is where you were, because you danced for some time, and then you decided to open a group and teach. So this is again enjoying dancing and habit of practicing, right? Love, passion, dedication comes exactly into this category, because you have to enjoy what you dance, you have to enjoy what you do, and you also have to have a habit of practicing. So if someone asks me, where were you the last Thursday? Well, I was kind of busy, there was a football game and I was not able to come. Right? But at this point you start to recognize the importance of practicing. And you're creating a habit of practicing all the time, because only then you get to live the passion. So at this point you understand stage already fully. because you were on stage and so many times that you know where's the exits, you know when you come front, you know when you go back, you know which angles you get to take, and so on. So this falls into a category of an understanding stage. And having the knowledge to execute a program, because you did so many performances and you did so many rehearsals that the program that you're offering or that you're doing, I'm talking now from two perspectives. Ne? I'm talking from a perspective of an artist, but also from a teacher now, because that means you already know the program, you know what the stage is, so you're going out and sharing your program, but also you're able to teach it now. Planning creative practice. This falls into a category of diversity, for example. So in order to have a diversive practice, you have every now and then you have to change something, to put something new into the practice in order to enrich the mind of the artists. Being able to transfer the style on others. So if you're, let's say, learning a specific choreography from someone that you know, and it is very useful to know what is that specific style of that choreography, because it might be different. If you go to, let's say, when we talk about folklore, you go to one village and in this village they dance like this, but in the next village, which is, let's say, 30 kilometers away from, they dance in a different way. And you can say it's a different, and it's the same style, but it's not the same style, it's already different style. Because from this village they dance like this, and from that village they dance like this. So when you dance something, you want to find out what is the specific style of that dance and who does it. By this point, as an experienced one, you're already assisting and you're leading the groups. You're able to assist the choreographer or the one that runs the group, and you can help others. Choreographing or sequences for various groups. So at this point, you're probably, as a teacher, you're probably able to do some small sequences that you have learned for a very long time. And then when you teach them now, when you go around and you teach them, this is exactly this. So you're able to create small sequences when you go and teach. Organizing small performances and finding resources for events. This I think you have already learned. If you're already still learning, but it's learning by doing. It's basically learning by doing. So developing dance identity. Now, when someone asks you, "What do you do?" Well, I'm a dancer. How about you? It's very clear what you do. And if someone asks you, "Well, which kind of dance you do?" Well, you know, I'm a folklore dancer. And it's very clear that you're a folklore dancer. Make sense? This is clear? Okay. So professional artist. Now, at this point, you know the drill. You know the drill really well. So you have the knowledge and the know-how. You become the model of that specific style, so that when you show on stage, everyone knows what it is. And the muse of the style. So you become a mascot of that specific style that you're doing. Once you're a professional, it is very useful to live and grow in dance, so that you're really living the life of a dancer and really decided to grow always inside of dance. Reaching and researching the top artists. What I get to do, for example, I sometimes spend quite a long time watching videos or reading about different artists and trying to find out what they do and contacting some of them and so on, in order to find out what do the top artists do. Having the personal discipline for lifelong practice. The personal discipline is probably the most important key thing in a life of a dancer. So establishing a discipline for yourself is probably the key thing. Because once you have it, the lifelong practice is a natural thing for everyone. Because this is what enables you to walk your talk. then you become the role model that others look at. Because once you understand the market, you can go on it. Understanding the market and making a living out of dancing is a very special thing. The money is not so good, but the pleasure is great. so being a being a responsible contract taker is sometimes somewhat a problem, depending with which companies you work. But it can be also very well. And then once you sign the contract, then you have to keep the things in as they are planned. Communicating professionally with artists, choreographers, teachers, directors, and being one of them. We tend to move from all of those positions sometimes. At one point you're a dancer, the next day you're a choreographer, then you become a teacher suddenly, and then you become a director. And those are basically all different positions, and learning how to deal with all of those is a very special process. And it takes time, and it takes also passion and dedication. Having a strong connection within the community, it's probably the must. The communities sometimes tend to dissolve, and they don't tend to hold each other very in a good way. But there are always people inside of the dance society. They are trying to put the things together and create strong connections between, because you don't depend only on yourself. You also depend on the community that you're working with. And of course, at this point, being a professional artist, you're probably able to share and transfer the knowledge and ideas that you have learned, gathered, researched, practiced, and so on. So at this level, this should be kind of a library. You should be a library of knowledge. So the next step is finding out where you fit at these 4 quadrants at the moment, and where you would like to go in the future. Where would you want to be? So defining in which 4 quadrants, one more time, in which 4 quadrants you actually want to be, and where you are at the moment. So this takes somewhat, let's say, 15-20 minutes of a little bit of a thinking, but it's a very useful practice. Because once you set the things very clearly for you and also for your community, then the things get to be much more easier. Yes. That will be also the key. That will be also the key for many years to come. So yeah, it depends, of course. I know. They don't know what they're gonna do tomorrow. That's right. Okay, so the purpose of the course, as the book itself, purpose of the webinar. I'm going out of the story already. The purpose of the webinar is to get the word out. And I consider my program to be somewhat unique in its form, as I don't teach people how to do steps. I teach people how to think as artists, and I consider that to be some practice that doesn't get to be shared in our dancing society, and I find that a pity. So allowing people to grow their practice is probably one of the key things for me. So that's why I do the webinar, and that's why I actually wrote the book. So these are the following coming themes that are coming in 2016, and I will cover certain subjects of my program, and also maybe discover some other also fields that might be interested for specific studies of dance. So I'm going to cover yoga for dancers, tap your creative potential, being very musical, owning the stage, health and dance, systems of growth, mastery of dance, and dance coaching.